Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I've been away. Let's just jump into it, right? I've not been here for so long, and I just realised how dark my office is looking. It is not nighttime, people. Let me turn it on. Don't mind the lights. I do live in daylight sometimes. Better be multi-tenanted. We'll see, Ollie. We will see. Hey, Kat. Hey, Benjamin. Oh. Yeah, my internet connection's just been so bad recently that I've not been able to stream. So I'm giving it a try. I've scheduled a few streams and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to be building something fun. It's been that long that you now work for another company. Well, I did actually see that on LinkedIn, Cat. Congrats, by the way, on the new job. That's awesome. So what are we doing today? Let's just hide some of this rubbish. Now let's just focus in here a minute. So I'm going to be building, video quality is a bit low. That is likely my internet connection. Let me check. Screen sharing. Yeah, that is my internet connection. I do apologize if it is low on some sources. So, what am I building? I'm going to be building a kind of a CRM type thing. Basically, I want to build a tool that helps me in my day job, which is now working for myself. The light shining off my head here. Have some glint from my bald head, people. So I'm now a freelancer, and one of the main things that I do is work with various other clients. I need to know what projects I'm on, what I'm scheduled for, who am I talking to? What clients am I talking to? Am I talking to anybody new? Um, yeah, that's about it really. But I wanted to build an app for it because I need an excuse to live stream. So what we're going to have is we're going to have strict style sloppiness. I don't like sloppy lines. So we've got like a user can log into the account, right? Pretty standard. And what they want to do is they're going to have this idea of a workspace. And this is basically just a company. And each workspace is then going to have clients, and each client can have many projects. Ooh, what happened there? Projects. But a client can also have many contacts. Keeping it relatively simple here. So let's just do some lines to make it pretty. Tell you what, we'll full screen that. Bam. Have some light mode for your retinas today. So that goes to there. This goes to here. And then this goes to here. And then this goes over to here. And basically, this is then going to also, who is the dedicated contact for a project. Yeah, it could have been a WordPress plugin, but they would have taken a percentage or expected X amount of my annual revenue or wanted me to do 1 million open source hours a year. So it is relatively simple, but my end goal is that I'm also then going to have things like invoices, like each client can have many different invoices and they're going to then be attached to a transaction. Basically, like the personal OS I was going to build, but now I'm not doing DevRel full time. I need something a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to Laravel Herd and just start a brand new project. I've got no sites yet. This is my Mac Mini, by the way. I've had to set it up a little bit differently. So if I just come to my terminal a second, let's kind of give me some space here. Screen sizing is hard. So I use Homebrew. I use all of these cool things, but I started using Nix Flakes to really manage everything, and it just makes things so much easier because once I've done this, I can just use this command that I've built here to rebuild my system, and it's all great and it all works. There's no changes, so this shouldn't need a rebuild, but it'll also do any updates as well, by the way. Really handy. Just hide that. Hide that. It's just flickering through everything. Put that back over here. Here we go. So yeah, anyway, that's Nix. It's cool. No, it's not managing Linux. It's literally just yeah. Oh, I haven't got a new desktop yet. I'm using my old Mac Mini at the minute. It's an M1. It's good enough for what I need right now. And hey, Michael, welcome from Twitch because I'm also on Twitch. Not as heavily though. It'd be cool to be on Twitch more. But this is a plan. So let's just kind of go back to Laravel Herd a second. Let's go create a new site. So what we're going to do, we're going to start a new project. We're not going to use a store. Actually, I will use Laravel Breeze as a starter kit, but I'll likely delete a lot of stuff. I'm just going to call this CRM, and we're going to use View with Inertia. We'll have dark mode and TypeScript, and yeah, that'll be it. So we'll create our project. So we can go to PHP Storm, and we're going to open a new project. This is a brand new project, never worked on before. Hello, Amir. Welcome from LinkedIn, and hello, David. Haven't spoken in a while. It's been pretty busy, right? Right, so that's still creating, so we'll have to come back and just click that. That's one thing that really annoys me about PHP Storm is that I've got to click forward and back a million times, and creating a project takes way too long. Way too long. I don't use Arch, by the way. Yeah, neither do I. Um, I'm not patient enough for Arch, by the way. Ubuntu is an old African word that means he who cannot configure Debian. Oh, I love it. Right, let me just quickly switch to 8.4. Let's make sure that's on 8.4. It's going to break everything, but it's fine. We'll fix it. Right, okay, so let's go and start this project. And let's go to our CRM, create that. And let's just quickly do a quick composer update or something. We've switched to 8.4 now. Because that's like the new thing to use, right? 8.4. It's what I see the cool kids streaming in, so I better join in. There we go, 8.4, fantastic. So we're just going to quickly composer bump and composer update. There we go. Starting a new Laravel project the right way. And what I like to do, delete all of that and say, we're just going to call it Little CRM. Because it's not really a CRM, it's just like a really small tool that's going to be handy for me. I've not really dabbled with 8.4 yet. Being freelance, you're kind of stuck on whatever clients need you on. Right, so one thing I like to do straight away is come over to my editor config and say, okay, I also want you to indent JSON to any JavaScript files, any TypeScript files, any Vue files, and any CSS files. That's kind of like my defaults right there. And then if I open up Raycasts, if I just open up my notes, I've got PHP stand config here. So I can grab that and copy that in. So we're going to go for PHP stand.neon. We will be using PHP stand 2.0 on Macs. Oh, wow, okay. That is not the nicest thing. Might have to have a look at what's causing that in the notes. Ta-da! Hey, thanks, Ray. Good to see you. Right, let's also go and grab our lava pint configuration, and let's hope this doesn't give me some weird formatting. Pint JSON. Nope, that is good. That is good news. Fantastic and fantastic. And obviously, Rector is pretty cool as well. I created this. Oh, what are you doing? Here we go. Shame there isn't like just a copy button up the top on this. Like that would make notes so much better. Right, so that's Rector, and I've just created that rector.php. Rector.php. Excellent. So now I just need to get some stuff installed, right? Sublime Text. I can't use Sublime Text. It's just not. I need a little bit more. I just don't have the patience. So, right, Composer require dev. We're going to go for PHP Stand 2.0.0, I believe it is. We are going to go for Rector PHP, I believe it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head. Then we're going to want Rove, security, advisories. Typos are back, and we're going to use dev latest as usual. I already got Laravel Pint. Anything else that I'm missing? Static analysis, got testing stuff, security, upgrades. We'll start with this. We'll ignore that one. What is Rector? Does anyone know the name for Rector? It might just be Rector. That's installing. Fantastic. So now I can come down, and I like to come here, and up here we say that let's just kind of let's format that, and let's just detect TLS to true. That's all of that. Requires PHP. Okay, so we're just going to ignore Rector for now because it's not ready for PHP Stan or something. I don't know. It's giving me a lot of errors, so I'm just going to ignore it. This one, we're just going to format. This we can format that. Pint JSON should already be formatted, technically. Package JSON will format. And Composer JSON we will format. Right, so then up here we're going to have just Steve King, little CRM, we're calling it. A teeny tiny CRM to make my life easier. Going to drop that, and then we're going to update that to 4. And then we're going to Composer updates. Come on, Composer bump. No updates required. Fantastic. So why is that complaining? I swear I did that. Composer required dev Rove security advisories dev latest. Hello, Robert. Right, so that's all of that. That is all set up now. We are good. And what I like to do in my Composer file is come down to these scripts and say, I don't want you to run serve because I don't need it. But I do want you to listen on the queue. Pale, I'm not a big fan of Pale. So we're going to remove that one. So npm run dev. I like to use pnpm personally. And then we've got, basically, we want the queue and Vite only. So then down here, I can say, let's lint our code by using vendor bin pint test. Then we want to pint our code, vendor bin pint. Then we want to scan our code by saying, then we limit, put up 3 gig. And we want to be able to test our code. So we can just say RPP artisan test, like that. All right, so that is most of what I like to do. So let's make sure things are working, and let's just run composer lint. Complaints. Ooh. So lots of complaints about 8.4 still. Let's just ignore them for now. So then we can run pint. Then we can run stan. Let's see where we are. PHP stan. Okay, so let's composer require dev PHP stan 2.0.0 and -w. Make sure that's installed. Right. Now we can run stan on Ubermax, because Ubermax is a word, right? 51 errors. Okay, so right, that error now needs to disappear. Let's keep going. 50 errors. Cannot call method name on root, method non-object, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's lots for me to fix later on. Fantastic. So we have begun. So what I am able to do now is git status quickly. Let's just git add everything, git commit, and sure setting up Laravel. So we've got Laravel set up, right? So let's come back over here, and what we want is, we're going to call this little CRM, a teeny tiny CRM thingy. Public, let's create it. You start with lower levels. I just go straight in for max. Let's just push all of this. And there we go. We have got PHP stan up and away. Right, so that should now pushed. So the repo, for anyone interested, I'm going to post in the chat. Just show that. If you're interested, github.com/juststeveking/little-crm. Right, okay, so what we want to do is come back to this. So this is a brand new Laravel project. There's lots to do. First off, what I need to do is remove the package lock and the node modules, because that's me. And then I want to npm install it instead of npm. So once this is running, fantastic. I can now run npm. Oh, no. Composer dev is the new one, isn't it? So we can call that a dev. So what we need to do is just lock, and let's just restart. There we go. Everything is running. Then we need another one over here. So first step for me is to start cleaning up parts of the app, because I like to do things my way, okay? It's just what I do. So we have a web directory within there, and then we're going to have a a console directory within here. Then we're going to create this new roots.php, which we will copy into web. Then we can copy that auth across. Then console, all I really copy across is this. So we can say declare strict types and just include that. And we will just copy all of that across for now into roots. Come over to our Bootstrap app. And just do a little bit of tidy up. So over here, what we're going to want to do is web roots. And this just kind of really keeps things clean for me. Let me just quickly check. PHP version is 8.4. Let's say PHP head for now. Apply that, that's fine. And I want to check Laravel Pint quickly. Turn that on, and we're going to say that we are in herd CRM Pint open. Defined in there, apply, okay, perfect. Give it a second. It's all good. Right, okay, so the callback for that is that, and then this is using that. So what we can do is fix all of that file. Let's just import that class. And yes, I'm going to be doing front end. How crazy is that? Right, so that is our roots all set up now. So we can go ahead and just kind of delete all of those because they're not needed. Close that down for now. And let's just push that up. Git add, git commit. And we are cleaning roots and switching to PNPM. Push that. So the database is kind of like my first layer that I look at. I can't remember the key. Something to do with scrolling and allowing scrolling to make the text bigger. Editor tabs, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's look at the Zoom stuff. Zoom. There's a button. I can never remember where it is. What lets me kind of zoom in with by holding font size. Let's look at editor, font, not ligature stuff. Command and mouse wheel. There we go. Right. There we go. That's what I needed. Right. We are ready. That's the one, Benjamin. I just couldn't remember where it was stored. Right. So let's do this. And then we want to make sure that that's static, and that's static. Then we're going to switch this to a ULID, which is my preferred. I just find UUIDs a bit ugly to look at. No reason for it. I just don't like them. And then we need to switch this one to a foreign ULID. It's nullable. It's going to be indexed. We're going to constrain it to the users table, and we will cascade over there. So then we've got timestamps at the bottom. So we need to move email verify that down there. Then we've got all of our strings up the top here. Yeah, I've tried presentation mode. I didn't like it. I really didn't like presentation mode. Right, so table, foreign ULID, and we're going to have a workspace ID there, which is nullable, and we will want to index that. That is it to start with, really. Name, email, password. I'm not going to worry about avatars, I don't think. Yes, I use JetBrains Toolbox. Will I use it? Will I use it? I don't know. I'm going to come back and make a decision on that. I was thinking maybe using Socialite would be fun because it's always fun to use login with GitHub, right? So let's declare that as static. Let's declare that as static, and that's all that is needed for there. And then again, the same over here. And that is our migrations, kind of where we want them to start with. So we can say git add, git commit minus IAM, and say sure migration time. Right. So that is our migrations ready, but we want to kind of work on this factory. So this extends is handy, but I like to do these kind of in line. When it's just like a simple thing like this for the sake of static analysis, will be mixed, unfortunately. This faker, it just keeps things a little bit cleaner, and it still gives you the benefit of doc blocks without having to kind of have these massive doc blocks in your code, which just get really ugly to look at, if I'm honest. This will be a user factory. This state is state. This will return an array. And we are going to use the model for user class. And we want to use a class string for the user. And there we go. That is all good. That is kind of what I like to have at this point. So then we can come over to our user over here, grab this. I don't like it floating there personally. It makes a lot of sense to have it, but it's the wrong place for it. Use has ULIDs. There we go. Fantastic. And then this is great. I like to have these, but again, you may as well just have them in place, right? So that's an array int string. Array int string. This is going to return array stringity string. There we go. It has to be above the use statement. No, it doesn't. Got to be attached to the class in my eyes. And then I like to go properties string for the ID up here, properties string for the name. Then we want the email. We've got the password. Then we've got the remember token, and then we've got the carbon interface for the email verified at. And we've got the carbon interface for the created at, updated at. I like to add soft deletes as well, so I'll better go do that as well. Deleted at. Then I give it some space there. So down here, what we want to do is add the table soft deletes, user, use soft deletes. And there we go. That is all of that. We just need to add the workspace before email verified. Property, null, string, workspace ID. Fantastic. We are getting there. Oh, I've never had that issue, to be honest. Okay, so that is now set up. This user model is okay for me right now until I make a real decision. So if we come back to a Sigma, and we're just going to stick that to the left for now, for if I need it. So we've got our user, and if we come over to here, we're going to want this workspace, right? Or do we? Do we want to set up anything else first? So what I'm going to be using here is shared CN view. I like it. Shared CN just saves me so much hassle and time. So what we're going to do, we're going to install it for Laravel. All of that's already done up, so I can just npx shared CN init. Let's just status that, git add that, git commit, setting up models and factories. Awesome. So now I can init. Yes, I want you to proceed. Hello, Switzerland. Would you like to use TypeScript? Yes, I am using that. Default slate. Yes, yes, yes. Nothing. Yes. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. Let's go. And this is Shad CDN. Shad CN. If you haven't already used it, I 100% recommend testing it. It is so easy to use. Right, so git status. Let's just git add that now. Git commit, and we're going to say you're installing shad cn view. And I'm just going to push that up for you guys. And what I like to do now is come over like the examples, or is it blocks? Blocks. And come down and go, okay, I know what I want my auth page to look like. I want it to, let's zoom out. I like it to look like this. So let's look at the code. So I know I'm going to need that component, that component, and that component. So I can say npx shad cn view at latest add, I think it's button. I think that's the way you do it, maybe. We'll find out. Oh, it's done. Then we can say label and input. That allows me to just kind of copy this. And what we will do is come over to our view layer now. And what we're going to do is just come over and have a look at crm.test. No. https crm.test. And there we go. If I click on login, I don't know why that's dumping out. I don't want to be dumping queries. Right. Okay, so we've got this main layer here for our view. Let's just stick this to the right. And this is how I typically work. It is a community port, and it is definitely helpful. I use it a little bit on my latest website, juststeveking.com. It's brand new. Haven't done any analytics or haven't tested a lot of things, but it's there. It's using Svelte though, so a little bit different. All right, let's just zoom out. So what I want is in this views over here, this is our main view, and I like to just add a h-file up there, and then just stop. So then we can say min h screen font and anti-alias. Yes, that's all good. So in our JS part here, we've got layouts and we've got a guest layout. This is where you do your authentication. Currently it's pulling that stuff in, not super handy. So I'm just going to drop that in, refresh this, and we've started. So let's go and look at this. I'm just going to copy, let's inspect that element and let's grab the link. It's all the way over here somewhere. Oh, that's just ugly to watch. Okay, open frame in a new tab. What's the subject going to be? Let's find out. And let's come to the bottom and just go. Okay, apparently I can't do that. So let's inspect there and let's just open in a new window. That's just not going well. Why can I not inspect you? open image in a new page. Perfect. I'll just do it this way. I've switched from Arc to Sigma because Arc's just kind of all over the place right now, and I want to wait until they're ready to have people using them again. Min height screen, min height screen. I could probably remove that and that for now. So let's come over, have a look, and there we go. Right, there we go. We have got our login. So let's just put this on the left. And don't have an account sign up stuff. That can also be on the left. And then we're going to remove that login with Google stuff. Forgot password. I'm going to put after the input, I think. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's a little bit better for me. So basically everything within here, this bit here, is part of the view. So there's the default one coming from Laravel, and I've now got the layout that I wanted. So we are good. Let me just double check everything. Brightness, cool, awesome. Right. So next up, we can come down to pages and we come to auth and login. And let's just format that, and we will just comment out everything there. And we can just, not there. Drop that in here. And there we go. We have things. So what we need to do is, I'm just going to make this async because I can, use form, blah, blah, blah. Worry about imports later. So log in. We're going to call this sign into your account. And then down here, we will have this as sign into your account. Enter your email and password below to sign into your account. Oop, fantastic. All right, so then what we have, we've got this input stuff going on. We're going to have some V model going on. So let's go and have a look. So email, ID, placeholder. I use the same placeholder all the time. It's just, I find it fun. Jon Snow at thewall.io. Things make me happy. Okay, so we can autofocus. We're going to do autocomplete off. That's kind of like my default behavior because I don't like the autocomplete stuff. So there's Jon Snow at the wall. We're going to change this to email address. And then on password, we just want to make sure that we format this. And let's just drop that up there. Autocomplete off. We're going to have a placeholder of the super secret password. Oops, screenshot. Didn't mean to do that. Or yeah, if we could stick with like the default, the fun approach that we are taking, and let's drop that. Let's just grab that label and move out of that div because that div is no longer needed. I'm a big fan of removing rubbish that is no longer needed. So instead of that, we could say you know nothing, Jon Snow. There we go. So we have got progress. We are going somewhere. Forgot your password, that's fine. Login, we're going to swap that to sign in so that the language is familiar. And finally, this one is going to be don't have an account. Create a new account. Haven't signed up yet. Create a new account, and then what we're going to do, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. We're going to turn this into a link component, and we need to make sure that we use the tools available to us. And then up here, if I just quickly do a read list, we have got forgot password, password.request. So href password request, and let's turn this into a link component as well. So there we go. So if we click there, we can go back, click there, we can go back. All is good in the hood. All right. So all of that is looking fine with me. Autofocus and autocomplete is off. Sign in, that is fantastic. I'm not going to add the checkbox for remembering because, let's be honest, no one ever implements it, right? Every website's got click here to remember me, and they never remember you. So why lie to ourselves? If I want to add it later, I will do. Right, can reset password. I don't need that as a prop. It's always going to be there. Right, so text agree, I'll keep that. That's all fine. Sign into your account. We are good. We just need to make sure that we wrap our form here. And we want to say at submit.prevent equals submit. And that will then go up to here, and that is all good. Right. I will do the register another time. We'll worry about that later. So at this point, we can log in. So let's go to our database seeder and make sure that we've got a user that we can actually use. So let's create a Steve McDougall. That's moi, that is me. And we want just stevemcd@gmail.com. So now if we migrate fresh and seed, I should be able to log in. So now I can say just stevemcd@gmail.com, password of password. I don't know what happened there. Just stevemcd@gmail.com and password. Sign in. What am I getting back? Am I getting some console errors or network errors? Let's just clear all of that, send it. You know what? Maybe we're going to have to open this in Chrome. I hate to have to do it. CRM.test, log in. Let's put you on this side. So just stevemcd@gmail.com and password. And let's see what's going on. So console, failed to load resource. Yep, not that bothered. Sign in. So something is stopping it. What could it be? What could it be? This is why I don't do front end, people. I mean, come on. Okay, so let's walk through this. Step one. Let's go down to the root. Our root is in web and auth, and it's currently going to this post login store over here. So I always rewrite these. I'm not going to lie. Boolean, remember, let's just remove that. Rate limiting, cool. We can ignore that for now. We'll clean this up later. That's default behavior, so I can remove that. So sign in. We are getting a 200, so let's open up that login. So on form, do that. Maybe it's the async stuff. Maybe that's causing an issue. And let's try one more time, just stevemcd@gmail.com, password, sign in, sign in, sign in. Okay, something's falling over somewhere. That sounds very much like a front-end problem, which I'm not going to worry about right now. I will look at cleaning that up a little bit later. But let's imagine for a second that it worked, right? We've created a user. If we quickly go into Tinker, we can say app models user first. We've got a user. We've got me. We're all good. So now we want to make a model. And we're going to create that workspace model. Workspace. We're going to want a factory, a migration, and a policy. So let's open up the create workspaces table and we'll start filling this in. So what is a workspace? It's basically like a team account or a company account, right? So we're going to have a table string for the name. That's all we need. That's all that's important at this rate. And we will say table, foreign URL ID for the user ID. We're going to index it. We're going to constrain it to the users table, and we are going to cascade on delete. And only the user is soft deleted. So everything goes into this kind of cool down mode when a user deletes their account, and then things just work nicely. We don't need an email. I'm not worried about an email. I'm not going to worry about front end right now, if I'm honest. I was doing it just for, I suppose, dramatic effect. Here's some front end code just to watch me struggle. So let's just ignore that. And let's just come back to, I don't know, you can look at my website or something. If you want to look at the website, let's drop it in the chat. Come to Chrome. I'm going to drop that in the chat. My nice new website, juststeveking.com. It's a lot of fun. It was fun to build. It's Astro and Svelte. Okay, so let's start off by doing what we like to do and clean up the code, factory and workspace. And then we can return an array of next. Then we have a model that is a workspace, and that is a class string, which will be a workspace. And we can fix all of that, and we can say that the, okay. How do we do that? User factory there, and then here we're going to say Faker company. So random company name. We'll focus here instead. So we've done the user. We've got our user pretty much set up, right? Ooh, doesn't work without the www. Okay, that is a Cloudflare thing that I need to look at. So our workspace, we've got the factory, we've got the migration and stuff. So let's just grab that and stick that up there like we like to, and simplify that, remove that, and fix that, and say use has URL IDs. There we go. So our workspace is basically just kind of like a holding thing. So we've got a name and we've got a user ID, and that's all we need on it right now. A name and a user ID. It's got a UL ID, and we're going to have a public function owner, which belongs to return this belongs to, the related is a user class. And the foreign key for that is, I mean, you don't need to do this, by the way. This is just how I like to write it, because I like to have very self-explanatory code, so that if I look at it at a glance, I can see all the things that I need and care about. So we've got a property string name, and we've got a property string user ID. Let's just remove that, and then we have a property null carbon interface for the created that, and we have a carbon interface for the updated that, and then we can have a property user for the owner. That is our model. It is pretty much not going to get much more advanced than that right now. Come over to our user, and we can say that our user current workspace is going to be, so workspace belongs to, return this belongs to, related is a workspace, and the foreign key is a workspace ID. Return belongs to workspace. So down here we can say property workspace workspace. So when a user is created, we want them to have a workspace available. And the way that I like to do this is to say we're going to make an observer, and we're going to call this the user observer for the user model. Here's a user observer. Now I'm going to delete all of those for now and come back to them as and when I need to react to them. But to start with, I don't need to. So let's just fix all of that up. And what I like this to do is dispatch jobs. So in my constructor, I can say that my private read-only dispatcher bus. So that in this created method down here, I can just say this bus dispatch. And we can make that read-only. And to make this even like better, we can just defer it where the callback is that. And then we can say use function. Like so, and then just fix all that up. There we go. So this is going to accept a command which we need to create. So let's make a job. We're going to call this onboarding, and this will be create default workspace. New create default workspace, and the user is going to be user ID. Just trying to think, do I need anything other than the ID at this point? Not really. That's all we need on this, so that when we come over to this user here, we can tell this user that it is observed by the user observer. That's all we need to do. And let's just import that class. So this user observer will then dispatch this, which will accept a public read-only string for the user. We can then remove all of that, remove that, lower point it up, and then we can pull in our database manager here as database. Come over here, and then here is where we do things in this location. Now, what I like to do at this point is make a decision. Do I want to use action pattern? It's popular at the moment. We've got Brent talking about it. We've got Nuno talking about it. We've got everybody talking about it. Or do I want to go a different approach? Am I going to have this central point for like an identity service or an onboarding service? Who knows? Right now, I'm just going to do it in place and refactor to what's going to make sense. So for now, I can just say database transaction. The callback is going to be just a very simple workspace query create. And we're going to attempt that 3 times max. Come on, keyboard. So attributes is going to be the name default. And the user ID is going to be this user. That's all it needs to do. Create a workspace. So now if I just come over to Herd quickly, come to sites, let's just regenerate that preview. Something's complaining, but it's not the end of the world. Let's open this up in Table Plus a second. Here we go. We've got our database over here. Let's just close that because I don't need it. So at the minute, we've got users. We've got a user, but there's no workspaces. So let's migrate fresh and seed. It's a workspace, default workspace for this user, but it hasn't been updated. So create default workspace. Now, there's a few different ways that we could approach this. We could at this point do all of the logic within here, but then this job is doing more than one thing. So what I like to do is be Steve and make another observer. And we're going to create a workspace observer for the workspace. So let's come down to our workspace observer. And as you probably could guess, we're going to do something extremely similar where we're just going to, okay, this class is responsible for responding to things. So we want to say public function in the constructor. So we want the private read-only dispatcher as a bus. Then we can say this bus dispatch a different command. But as we did before, we can defer that with the callback of that. And up here, we can just say use Illuminate support defer function. There we go. And this can then be read-only class. This is going to dispatch a command of some sort, which we can now create. Let's just tell this that is in fact observed by workspace observer, and make a job. We're going to say our last one was onboarding, create default workspace, and then we will say update user workspace, like that. So in our workspace observer, now we can say new update user workspace. We can say that the user is workspace user ID and that the actually we should just pass through the workspace. The workspace is workspace, like that. So over here, we can say that the public read-only workspace, and we want to say use serialized models, clean all that up, delete that because it's not needed, delete that because it's not needed. Then within here, we have our database manager, so the database allowing us to perform a transaction so that we can say database transaction. The callback is going to be this workspace owner update, and the values is going to be workspace ID, this workspace ID, and we want to attempt this no more than 3 times. So when we update our workspace, when a workspace is created, we're going to update the user. So you can see we've got nothing there. If we migrate fresh and seed, Wait a minute. Let's open up our user. I think I left something out. I did. We need to add that member token there. We need to add the workspace ID, and we need to do the email verified at. So let's just redo that. Refresh. Why are you not working? Fail. Okay, so failed jobs. Always a fun one. Callback must be something. Int given. Called in observer's workspace observer. Ooh, what did I do wrong? My bad. There we go. Let's just migrate fresh and seed again. Close that. So now I've actually got a workspace. And it's all pretty instant. It's all kind of like, oh, lots of little jobs firing off and doing their bits. Typo one remember token. That sounds like a thing that I would do. Remember token. There you go. So that is all of that. So git status, git add, git commit, sign in, and default workspace creation. Let's push that. And I'm probably going to call it a day there. I don't want to do too much in one go. I want to make sure that these lessons are useful. Oh, model unguarded. Who are you talking to? That reminds me. In my app service provider, what I want to do, we've got the Veep prefetch going on, which is cool, but we also want to say model should be strict, but also because I'm using inertia, I'm going to want to return consistent things back to the UI. So for now, I'm going to say JSON resource without wrapping. I may not use this long term, but to start with is what I'm starting with. So let's just add that, git commit, sure, app service provider defaults. That's it. That's all I wanted to do today. Just get this set up and started so that a user can sign up, they will get a workspace, they can log in and they'll have their default workspace ready for them. They can then update that workspace to be named whatever, or they could create a new one and manage it however they might want to do. But that is all of that. That is all I wanted to do. I want to say thank you for being so patient with me. It's been awesome live streaming again. I do have another one tomorrow where I'm going to carry on with this. As it's a product I need on a day-to-day basis, I'm likely to keep this project going, unlike some of my other ones, which was more for fun and education. This is one I need, so bear with. You may not find it all fun, but you might enjoy parts of it. I'm going to go get some other work done. Stay awesome. Catch you next time, which is tomorrow. Catch you later. Bye bye.